Hi friends, welcome to Eyes of My Heart. It is December the 18th and I am a year older. I had a birthday yesterday, so it's my first full day at this age. And you know what? I am so thankful to be alive. And it just seems like every year, I know some people get wigged out by aging and numbers, but fortunately I don't. I am just so thankful to be getting older. And I want to say thank you to those of you who sent me birthday wishes. I read them every single one. And when I looked at each name, I would remember how we knew each other. If it was from years ago, which is really interesting because with Facebook, I'm connecting with people I haven't seen in decades. But I remember them from school, either high school or college. And I remember how our lives intersected for that period of time, and it makes me smile. And some are family members and cousins and people I haven't seen for a long time because we live so far apart, and that warms my heart. And just friends throughout the decades or people I knew at work. And so even if our paths crossed very briefly, and maybe we weren't even close friends, but acquaintances or coworkers, it does something to see the names pop up there. And it just makes me look back over my life with so much gratitude. Life hasn't been perfect. No life is. But I'm so glad to still be here. I'm so glad to be growing old. And the friends that came up from downstate were growing old together. And we just had some great conversation and spent time together drinking in life. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And what I'm finding, not that I have like great words of wisdom for getting old, but the older I get, the more I realize the deepest purpose of my life. And it has not one thing to do with anything external. It has everything to do with what is happening within me, and am I becoming all? Am I living in the fullness of who I know myself to be in God, in this divine love? And that can be lived out into the world, regardless of what title we hold, of what we've achieved or how we've failed, or whether you're married or single or rich or poor or educated or uneducated, or, it doesn't matter anything, because you can live out of that core of love, no matter what your circumstances in life is or are. And that is such a deep place of freedom. Sometimes we look back over our life and we say, oh, I should have done, I could have done, I would have done. And that's normal. Don't beat yourself up for it. It's just that reflection. And I also grew up hearing all about leaving a legacy and all of that. And I'm like, live your life in the moment, the present moment, fully present to it, not about how are people going to remember me. Because that can start to drive an ego-driven need to be remembered for all the, quote, good things. Be your truest, God-created self. Because I'll admit, we sometimes as we go through life, we can, this whole thing of I've got to find myself. And so we sometimes go off on tangents, trying all these different identities, thinking that's going to be who we are. Beneath all of those other identities is your truest being. And when we're settled in that, it has nothing to do with how you look, what you've achieved, who your friends are, who you know, what education level you have. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with how many failures you've had, or how many mistakes you've made, or how many successes you've had, or whether you've lived a life of ease and health, or a life of more struggle. You are who you truly are in the midst of all those things. Let that come forth. I'm still learning that, believe me. But it is becoming more and more rooted in my very being as I open to one thing, God, who is love. As I open to love, that is God. Love is an action and love is a noun. And when I hear love, I hear it now as capital L. God is love. That changes everything. And I did a video on one of my favorite scriptures. Everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. Everyone. And that's a video prior to this one, but boy, oh boy, is that true. It doesn't say everyone who said the magic prayer, everyone who was baptized, everyone who was confirmed, everyone who voted a certain way, everyone who supports that social justice cause, everyone who goes to church. It doesn't say that. It says everyone who loves. Love as a noun and love as a verb work together. It also says everyone who does not love does not know God, for God is love. And so I'm learning more and more through life what is an ego-driven kind of love that sometimes we do very unconsciously, and it ends up kind of being manipulative and trying to get warm, fuzzy feelings and trying to feel accepted, and we can exhaust ourselves searching for that rather than letting our idea of love fall away and recognizing we are love. We are the spark of God in this world, and it has gotten covered up by so many beliefs and hurts and traumas and emotions. When we can let it fall away, we realize this love is not driven by any emotion. It is a realization. It is a direct experience with love. And you find that love within your own heart, for the kingdom of heaven is within. It's not out there. And then you can begin to live out it. I guess I shouldn't say you. I can speak for myself. I should be saying my experience has been that. So wherever you're at in life, whatever age you are, whatever your past may have been, whatever your present circumstances are, you are love. And your life isn't measured by your successes or failures, your rejections or your acceptances, your great relationships or your troubled relationships. It's measured by this recognition, I think, of love divine within you, that you can live out no matter what. And that is a process. It's a reality. It's always there, but that process is removing all the things that have held me back. It's not even a belief. I lived many, many years with my belief systems. A direct experience is different than a belief. Now, in my experience, that direct experience with love, that awakening to love, that deepening to it, that opening to it, did not cause me to throw away a belief. It changed some of them, but I did not throw them away. It deepened, ignited, enriched, expanded, and brought so much light that I can't even explain it. It's a freedom that I had never known before and still am experiencing. And that's the joy of growing older. We can do that. I'm in that group of people who have been around for a few decades, and we feel ourselves getting older. And sometimes there's a resistance to that. And I've had to learn that process of letting go. And the numbers don't bother me, and the aging process is going to happen. It's okay. Embrace it. Live it. Tap into what is in here that is eternal and does not ever grow old. It only expands. So most of the people that I know in my age group are either very near to retirement, or if you were lucky and got to retire a little early, you're already there. And you're in a season of life that is brand new. Live it to its fullest. And in this age group, we often have more aches and pains or chronic conditions or illnesses that we've either gone through or find ourselves facing. Don't fear. Don't resist. What am I trying to say? Embrace all of life as it unfolds. Because even in the things that begin to change about us physically or relationally, because sometimes we lose loved ones that are close to us, even in the midst of life unfolding, we are still that that spark of God, that love of God in the world. And there's so much more that is evolving and coming up, and they can truly be the best years of our life. I believe that wholeheartedly. But we have to open to it. The moment we resist, we create a level of suffering that will either exhaust us or depress us or create more anxiety. Embrace it. You are a spark of God. And when we live out of that love, it is putting energy into the world that is not only making our life more at peace and at ease, no matter what the circumstances are, but I truly believe it is putting energy out into the world that others are being drawn to that light. That is God, that is love, so that they begin to open to it more and more in their life. And that, I believe, is how we begin to break down all the divisions between us. That's just my thought. Not because I'm all that wise, but I've lived life and it's been my experience, and there is a wisdom for my life that comes from that experience. So I just wanted to share that with you today. I'm so thankful to be this age. I'm 63 years old. December 17th, 2023. I turned 63. And I just am so grateful to embrace that, to settle into it, to enjoy this moment, this life, this year. And I hope wherever you're at, that just this thought, if I can leave you with one thought, everyone who loves knows God and is born of God. This love as a noun and this love as a verb resulting in action. Live out of that no matter what, no matter where you're at. Don't let fear, don't let self-condemnation, don't let anger and unforgiveness or regret of the past. At 63, I have a lot of past I can look at. I've made mistakes. It's okay. I am love. I am light. I am in this world at this age, evolving still, and I want to open more and more and more to connect with the people that are different than me, as well as the people who are like me in some ways, because the richness of life is love. And I'll just end with what I said a little earlier, because it was the most important thing to me. It means letting go of my idea of love. Love isn't trying to get a great feeling. That can be driven by an ego kind of love that makes us get a little needy and manipulative with others. Let everything fall away that you thought love was, and realize this love of God, this light of God is within you. And you can have a direct experience with it that is different than a belief system. Doesn't mean you throw away a belief system. It might for some, I don't know. It didn't for me. It enriched it. It ignited it. God bless you guys. Again, thank you for journeying with me here. Thank you. If you sent a happy birthday, I greatly appreciate it. And if you didn't, that's fine too. I forget people's birthdays, or I don't always comment on people's birthdays when I see it on social media because I'm too quick in scrolling through. But you are loved. And I want to say this one more thing. Love. The one thing that changed in my heart with this idea of God is love. I can't say to people, I love you, but I hate what you're doing. I just want to say, I love you, period. I see God in you just as you are. Open to that love. Let everything else fall away, and that love will ignite everything else. And you'll be freed from your regret and your guilt and your shame and your what ifs and your fear and your worry and your anxieties. They won't control you. I can't say you'll never feel those emotions, but they will not control you. You will be stepping into a freedom. Those who love, that's an action. Those who love are born of love, the noun, God, that is love. And they know it's not just a belief anymore. It is a direct experience, and it will transform us. Take care, guys.